Hey guys, welcome back to Dragons and Armwrestling. So I told you guys that I was going to try a hair scramble race. This is my first ever time racing a dirt bike of any sort. Definitely a little nervous. We are here at the Tennessee River Rampage. There's going to be a good amount of people racing. I'm going to be competing in the beginner class, obviously. I mean, I've never raced, so I'm going to be competing in the beginner class. Because everyone was saying, like, even though you might be okay rider, like, since you've never raced before, definitely into the beginner class. And I'm not going to argue with that because I don't know what to even expect. I'm definitely a little nervous about the start. I don't know how that's really going to go. I feel like if I can get a good start, then I should be able to fall into pace pretty good. I feel like I've ridden enough and I do enough cardio to where my endurance should outlast most of these other guys because it's a 2-hour race. And I'm kind of not sure how it works, kind of am. But basically, from my understanding, is the leaders race for approximately 2 hours. You can end up racing a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, depending on where you are in the race. So if you go through your fourth lap or whatever in 1 hour and 40 minutes, and the leaders come through, but the course is about 40 minutes long, and the leaders finish at 2 hours, you could end up racing for 2 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes, 2 hours and a half, somewhere in there. But usually the leaders, the goal is for them to ride for about 2 hours. All the times compete for everyone, and then for like the overall. And then the winners of each class get like plaques and stuff like that. And I believe the winners of the overalls get some money. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's how it goes. But I think it's going to be interesting. I don't really have too much expectations. Obviously, I'd like to win the beginner class. That'd be cool. But, I mean, I don't really have too much expectations going into it. Hoping for a decent start. I'm not going to try to kill myself. I mean, this is a hobby, not a passion. Arm wrestling is a passion, not a hobby, in my opinion. So I'm going to try not to hurt anything or cause any injuries or anything like that. But we're going to go out there and have fun, and I'm going to have my GoPro so that you guys can see my POV at least until it dies, because the GoPro battery is probably going to last 40 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there. So we'll probably have about that much footage to edit down. And then after that, hopefully we can get some video with the camera, but probably not going to be too much of the last half of the race, unfortunately. But I'll see you guys when we start gearing up and heading to the line. We're a few minutes out from the start. I got to warm up my bike and then tow the line. I probably already missed out on my shot to get a good position or where I want in the line, but I mean, I don't have too high expectations. I'm just going to kind of get out there and I guess give it what I got. Not try to hurt anything. I think it'll be fun. As long as I get a good start, I shouldn't be killed too bad. But it's an endurance race. It's not an endurance race, but I mean, it's 2 hours of racing. So even if I get pushed behind, I should be able to come back from behind. So let's go to warm up the bike and carry on.
I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Oh my God. That might have been one of the most exhausting things I've ever done in my life. Well, just finished my first hair scrumble. Gotta say that was one of the most tiring physically things I've ever done in my life. I think the only time I've been more physically exhausted all around was the first time I did an obstacle course race, because that day I didn't really know how to pace myself, so I went out balls to the wall and got absolutely fried. And it was the same thing today. Like, you want to get a good position, so you go balls to the wall, and then you realize that you still have 2 hours of racing left after you're already tired. Right about lap 3, I hit like basically complete failure. Came up around to the finisher's tent, and they're like, "Yeah, you got 2 laps left, buddy." I was like, "God dang it!" I was already completely fried. My music stopped playing around on the second lap, and then I finally got to start working again on the last lap, and it really helped me push to the finish. We'll see what the results are in my class. I think I got first or second in the beginner class. It would be really cool if I ended up pulling out the first, but I don't know if I got first or second. So we'll see, and I'll let you guys know the results when I find those out. But yeah, super fun. It was cool how like you start seeing new lines open up as the race goes on, and man, it got bumpy as those last couple laps are rolling around. It gets bumpier and bumpier and bumpier, rootier and rootier, and it gets a lot harder to stay on the bike. I mean, it's just throwing you all around. Even if you're standing up, it's just blah, 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 blah. My hands are absolutely gone. My knees it definitely flared back up everything that I had from running, all my knee pain from running. Feeling every bit of that right now, but it was a lot of fun. I would have liked to have rode the trail, just relaxed and chill, because it's been really fun. But I felt like the areas I excelled were the really, really tight and technical sections and the hill climbs. Every time there was a really big hill climb, I passed so many people. There's the first lap, found the line, got around a lot of people, cruising, and then somebody fell right in my line, screwed me in the middle of the hill. Had to come back down a little bit and then get another run up. And then after that, the hill climbs were just when I passed everyone. I felt great on the hill climbs. I definitely need to work on my speed in the open sections. Anytime I was in an open section, somebody on like a 450 was just blowing by me. You could tell the guys that have probably raced motocross versus the guys that have raced or that have ride a lot of single track, because they were just killing me on the real open sections. But I felt like I really excelled in the really, really tight sections and then the hill climbs. Obviously, the AA guys, it was crazy, feeling like I'm absolutely flying, and then the pro guys coming by me like I'm sitting still. It's just absolutely crazy. Everybody was pretty nice. Like, ask somebody to move over or rev up your engine to move over, they'll get out of the way for you. And then I try to do the same for the pro guys, so I'm not holding them up. So I had 2 falls. One was because of the hill climb, and the other one was because I was trying to get out of the way. So when the pro guys by, and slid out, got back up, carried on. I believe that's just about everything. I'm going to go see if I can get something to eat. I'm exhausted, and then once I find out the results, I'll show you guys that. So I ended up second in open beginner. Definitely happy with that. Obviously, it would have been cool to get out the first, but we ended up second. 100th overall. The one thing I wish I'd get better was my start, because I started and I hit the go perfect, but then I was like, damn, did I false start? So like I'm looking around and then I'm like, oh shit, everyone else is going. And then I was like, okay, now I go. So that kind of screwed me. I wish that when I went, I'd just went for it, because I felt like I hit it perfect and then just stopped, because I thought I really did think I false started. My first lap was the slowest. I think my third lap was the fastest. I think it was like 28, then maybe 27, 26, 26, 26, all in the 26s after that. I'll post a picture of my results to y'all can fact check me. 100th overall, I'm really happy with that, because I mean there were a lot of guys that were very solid. It was crazy feeling like I'm absolutely flying, and having the pro guys just blow by me like I'm sitting still. Like, it's crazy. I had a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll do it again. I think it's kind of like a one and done type of thing. I think I really enjoy trail riding a lot more than like balls to the wall racing. But maybe if I feel like I'm making another skill jump, I might try it again in the future. But for now, I'm really happy with this. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Pro arm wrestler tries hair scramble. But if y'all enjoyed this comment down below. Tell me what you'd like to see next. I'll see you guys in the next one.